Corey. Tom Brady. He's non-committal. And he came out, said some things. Do you think Tom Brady hangs up his cleats?
No. I don't know where this stuff came from. It seems pretty out of nowhere, right? There seemed to be no hint, no indication of this a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And now it's being floated out there. And I'm not sure why Brady wants all of this drama about a potential retirement happening. And I say that because I don't think that speculation's out there unless he wants it out there. Because I guarantee you, before those reports ran over the weekend, he was getting texts from these NFL reporters and could have immediately shot it down. He didn't. So I don't know if this is a way to try to like put some leverage on the Bucs to make sure they are aggressive in the offseason again or what. But the only way I see him retiring is if he is not confident that the Bucs will be able to bring back all of the talent again for one more run. Because as of right now, Tampa Bay looks to be in the middle of the pack when it comes to cap space for next year. I believe looking up Spot Rack, it was like 14 million right now. Antonio Brown is gone and he's not coming back. And you look at the list of free agents that the Bucs have this offseason on both sides of the ball, and you got some pretty big names on that list. I mean, offensively, you've got guys like Chris Godwin, Gronk, Ryan Jensen, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, O.J. Howard. And on defense, you got guys like Davis, Golston, JPP, Ndamukong Suh. So that's a lot of important guys and a lot of important pieces that could end up not coming back to Tampa Bay next year. So I think trying to put pressure on the organization to make sure they get as much of that as possible would make sense. Because I think that there could be a legitimate concern on his end of if he comes back without all of those pieces back, that he could look like he did his last 2 years in New England, where his production started to decline. And frankly, that last playoff game against Tennessee, he just looked bad. He looked washed. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he saw a career revival with one of the most loaded offenses that we've seen in the NFL in the last 30 years. So I think he's conscious about his self-image and is probably a little concerned about how he would look if there was significantly less talent around him. But it would still surprise me to see him walk away so abruptly from the NFL.
Yes. So I think this is real. I think he retires. I think Tom Brady retires. If it's not this year, it's definitely next year. But number one, it is the pieces around him. I don't think Gronk's coming back. And listen, if he retires, he goes out on top. He lost in the divisional. It's okay. He threw for the most yards, most touchdowns, get a great season, second All-Pro. You know, I've heard this from people. Shannon Sharp said this. He said, you know, when you start, first of all, I've never heard Tom Brady talk like this, ever. It's always like, yeah, I'm going to revamp, come back. He's talking like he's starting to realize what he's done in the NFL. Shannon Sharp says sometimes when you're playing, you don't realize what you've done. Until you get up there, Shannon Sharp said he thought about retiring. He said, well, I won 3 Super Bowls. Been the first tight end, 10,000 yards. Should start thinking about it, right? Have 7 Super Bowls. Have every record. I'm considered the greatest football of all time. Some people say the greatest player of all time. I don't know. Maybe it's time to hang it up. You know, he said something about Kobe. Said something about his wife. He's like, man, my wife doesn't like me getting hit. I've never seen him this personable. It just seemed very genuine the way that he was talking about his kids and his wife. and I'm here for it, and I'd be happy. Listen, I hate to see him leave, but I love to watch you go. Right? Hate to see him leave because I like to see him playing. I love him as a player. But when it's time, man. I think he's calculating in his head, right? That it might be time. It might not be worth it because those guys aren't going to sign another discount. I'm not. I did it. We listen. We went to Super Bowl. We won. We tried the second year. Now it's like I'm trying to get paid. I know Sue's getting up there. JPP, they're all solidified. So I think it's real. I think he retires. Mo?
I'm torn on this, but I think he's going to retire. The competitive person Brady is, I think probably would be like, I don't want to go out like this, but I think the realization of everything will set in. Just his body, just the way this team is set up. Like James just said, a lot of 1-year deals. Like, is people want to take another discount for another try to run. Eventually people want to get paid. It's about winning, but you want to feed your family. You want to get that big paycheck. And another thing, like what I think we just put in the chat earlier, is the OC about to be gone. So unless you can bring these pieces back, if your OC takes a job, unless Bruce Arians fully says, I'm going to call the offense, who do they bring in as OC that Brady's going to trust at this age to be working with that's new? That might change the offense, might change how things is. So unless Bruce Arians says, I'm going to run it so that we keep things what he's used to running and what he wants to run, then it's just, I think it's a lot of variables. Gronk came out today, he said, if you force my hand right now, I'll retire. He said, I can't answer that question right now if I'm staying. So it's just a lot of variables that I think is too much at Brady's age. He's not spring chicken to be waiting around for different dominoes to fall or different things to fall in place. So I think he's going to give it a proper time and sit down with proper people and give the respect to Arians and ownership and everybody to, give it proper time, but not hold it out to where they can't move forward in free agency and move forward in what they want to do. But I truly believe he's going to retire.
All right. Craig. Tom Brady, man. Non-committal. What do you think?
Man, you know what? It's about time, man. NFC South is a upper grabs once again, boys. I think he's gonna retire. I just don't think he has nothing else to prove. This was a really good season for him. He led the league in touchdowns, led the league in, like you said, in passing yards. For age 44 to go out and play like this, regardless of the team you had around you, the talent you had around you, like, that's crazy to me. So I think he said he wanted to play till he's 45. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back, but I think for at least one more season. But I just think this is it. I think with his wife saying that she doesn't want to see him get hit, stuff like that. And then I think he, in an interview, he said he was proud and satisfied, and then of what they did this year. And then Gronk was on I guess he was on an interview or something like that with ESPN, and he said he's never heard Tom Brady use the word satisfied before. So that kind of made him think like, okay, maybe this is it for him. So, and like everybody said, like all the talent around him that's free agents this year. And then obviously the no Antonio Brown thing. Like, it's just a lot of pieces that they made it work last year. Everybody came back for one more run at it, and who knows if it's going to work again next year. So I just think they have too many pieces that they need to try to figure out for him to come back. Because I know he doesn't want to, at least I don't think he wants to come back for another run at it with not most of the same guys, at least not like close to the same 22. And then like most said, like the offensive coordinator, who's going to be the offensive coordinator? I would assume that they would talk to the guys if they're going to hire from outside and say, we're going to run the same offense. If you can't do that, then, you know what I'm saying, we're not looking for you. Or maybe they'll just promote within, and maybe like a quarterback coach or something like that who can run the offense as well. But like, that's going to be another thing, because he's set in his ways. He's set in the offensive ways. He's just set. So, I mean, he doesn't want to go out and try to change something up now. So, Bruce Arians is also getting up there in age, so it's not like he's the only one as well. But I don't think it's going to be. I just don't see him coming back. For the most part, I'm probably like 90%. I don't think he's coming back, but I'm not going to say never because it's Tom Brady. So, but I was on board for him to go out last year on top, but he wanted to come back again. And I mean, despite the great season that he had, you know, to still go out in the division round, brought his team back with all the injuries and the Rams basically just trying to give him the game. But he's had a great season, he's had a great career if this is it. So I don't, like I said, he doesn't have nothing else to prove in my eyes. So in a lot of people's eyes. So might as well just go out now while you're still able to run around with your kids and hang out and do stuff and with your family and things like that while you're healthy. So
yeah. And he had a great year. Like he had a great year this year. Second and probably in the MVP voting, second team all pro. He's kind of, for real, to me, going out on top. You know, it's unfortunately some quarterbacks don't do that. You don't want to ever get to that level. Peyton Manning got that Super Bowl. Was like, I am out. And he did. I mean, I'm not gonna. People say he didn't contribute. He did the best he could, but he was up there. He was getting up there in age, man. He knew it was time. They won a Super Bowl. He was like, I am out. Everybody remembers Peyton Manning winning a Super Bowl. Nobody talks about how. Did he get benched that year?
Yeah,
Nah,
he was
I think
hurt.
he
And they
was hurt.
put
He was
in
hurt
Brock
and came
Osweiler.
back.
And they put in Brock
Yeah.
Osweiler, and then
And they benched Osweiler come playoff time for Peyton.
Yeah, and then there we go. Peyton. Everybody remembers Peyton winning the Super Bowl and going out on top, and I think everybody's gonna remember the Tampa Super Bowl. So I just think it's time, man. Come on, Tom, man. Let somebody else win. Jeez. Get out of here.
It's why I don't think Brady. I could see Brady not coming back if the talent was significantly less around him because he doesn't want his last image of the field to be significantly worse than what he was the last 2 years.
Somebody said that he wants to go to San Francisco. San Francisco for 1 year. See if he can.
He's still under contract though. He'd have to force his way out of
Have
Tampa
to
Bay,
force-
wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would have to
Yeah.
force his way out.
He ain't
I
doing
don't. I
because
think-
that would be a
you
mark
know,
on his image as well.
Yeah, I think that's media talk. I think that he's out. You know, yeah, I think he's out. So